Jocelyn Hell. 1975, Neon Arzek. Number 22, Happy Go Lucky. Number 24, Shantastic McAwesome. Number 30, Levin Dropkick. Number 32, Dalek Doll. Number 49, Donna Stunner. Number 5150, Berserkly. Number 710, Bandana Split. 750, Whiskey Chase Her. Number 8008, Feminine Hijinks. Number 9, Kenna Vendetta. And your Vixens are supported on the bench tonight by Nefarious, Two Stroke, Pretty Reckless, Montana Slamma, and Smartash. Let's all hear it for your 2016 Vaudeville Vixens!
And next up, it's my pleasure to introduce the Vaudeville Vixens' opponents for tonight's match. The one and only skate crime syndicate, the Reservoir Dolls. Number 11 is Mass Myrtle. Number 18, Full Frontal Judity. Number 185, Supernova. Number 2 is Critical Tits. Number 27, Blitz Siren. Number 270, Cyanide. Number 31, Lady Hoo-Ha. Number 33 is Charlie Hustle. Number 333, Tenacious D. Number 366 is Gene Lane. Number 4, Mouse. Number 565, the Block Ness Monster. Number 50, the Heat. Number 8, Sassbot. Number 9mm is Shenanigans. Number K155, Lip Smacker. And number W01F is Caller de Wild. The Reservoir Dolls are supported from the bench tonight by Wipeout Scout, Dutch Oven, and Hopscotch. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Reservoir Dolls!
Skating tonight in this bout, our skating officials are Thaco, Eddie Lizard, Z-Dork, Johnny Zebra, Strife of Riley, Bjorn to Kill, and Chaotic Neutral. Our non-skating officials are Modus Pawns, Macromaniac, Misinformed, Agru, Diaphragm, Keister Bunny, Roadblock, Mr. Welch, Whistler, Death Nelly, Jezebel Kitty, Cordova, Brazzle Dazzle, Y.I. Otter, and Dread Gazebo. And let's get started with some roller derby.
Oh, let's do, Dolly. Let's do.
The last night of the bout. Thank you all for sticking around here to see the Reservoir Dolls up against the Vaudeville Vixens. Jamming first tonight on the Monkey Bar Gym Jammer line, we've got Black Velvet of the Vixens jamming up against Shenanigans on the Reservoir Dolls.
Whistle blows, both jammers are off. Black Velvet pushing up against the wall of black and white at the front of the pack. Meanwhile, Shenanigans fighting against the Vaudeville Vixens blockers at the back. Black Velvet, though, getting through first, taking the lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Shenanigans stuck behind a wall of Vaudeville Vixen blockers as Black Velvet makes her way around the track on her point-scoring pass. Trying to get past again the wall of Reservoir Dolls. Black Velvet does so and picks up a Minnie Madison Grand Slam, putting the first 5 points on the board for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Meantime, Shenanigans, jammer for the Res Dolls, just looks like she passed the star over to the pivot, Lip Smacker for the Reservoir Dolls. Lip Smacker going to work on making her scoring pass. However, Black Velvet going to call off the jam as she's pressing up against those Reservoir Dolls blockers, picking up 2 points on that pass.
A total of 7 points there for the Vaudeville Vixens, starting it off against the Reservoir Dolls. 0 points that jam.
Definitely a solid start for the Vaudeville Vixens, but it'll be a little bit early to celebrate. So we've got Lady Hoo-Ha going up to jam for the Reservoir Dolls. She will be jamming against Vixen jammer Kenna Vendetta.
And Kenna Vendetta jumps through the wall of Vaudeville Vixens. They try to hold up Lady Hoo-Ha in the back of the pack. Kenna Vendetta getting through the front wall of Reservoir Doll blockers, and she is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lady Hoo-Ha knocked to the inside, knocked to the outside, almost gets through on the outside before being knocked out by the last line of Vaudeville Vixen defense there. She does get through and is going to be able to start making her scoring pass. However,
nice hit there by One Hit Wanda of the Vaudeville Vixens. Meanwhile, Kenna Vendetta getting through the pack, picking up 3 points and 4 points, and calling off that jam on her second pass. Kenna Vendetta picking up a Minnie Madison Grand Slam and 5 points on that first scoring pass. That's 9 points for the jam, and that brings the Vaudeville Vixens to 16 points. And they are in the lead over the Reservoir Dolls.
That's right, Dolly. Looking down to the track for this next jam, Reservoir Dolls are putting up Mouse to jam up against the Vaudeville Vixens, Shantastic McAwesome. Both jammers very quick on their feet. Shantastic McAwesome fighting up at the front of the pack against the Reservoir Dolls blockers. However, Mouse gets through first, taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Shantastic McAwesome fighting her way around the track right behind Mouse, trying to get up to the pack of skaters that it looks to be diminished by 2 skaters from each team in the penalty box there.
Well, a really rough and tumble bout, or a jam right there, Dolly. It looks like, yep, there were 3 points put up on the board by the Vaudeville Vixens, 2 for the Reservoir Dolls. That brings our score to Vaudeville Vixens 19, Reservoir Dolls 3.
And it looks like, yeah, both teams scoring 3 points on that last jam there, Rich. Mouse also picking up 3 for the Reservoir Dolls. Now on the jammer line for the Vixens, we have Berserkly jamming up against Shenanigans from the Reservoir Dolls.
Vixen's defense doing a really solid job of keeping Shenanigans back there. In the meantime, Berserkly has gotten through, taking lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Berserkly out front with lead jam. She gets around the track fast and through the pack. That again is just 1 or 2 of each of the team's blockers. Shenanigans also getting through the pack of blockers. It looks like both teams with blockers in the penalty box.
And Berserkly knocked to the inside by Block Nest Monster, recycled in the back of the pack, re-engaging that Reservoir Dolls defense. In the meantime, Shenanigans is through, picking up 4 points for her team.
And all of the Reservoir Doll blockers back on the track. Making it tough for Berserkly to get through on that last pack. She calls off the jam, picking up a couple more points for the Vixens. That's a 6-8 jam. Vixens with 6 and Res Dolls with 8 that last jam. Jamming for the Reservoir Dolls now on the line, we have Sassbot, number 8 in black, going up against Jocelyn Hell, 1967 for the Vaudeville Vixens. Reservoir Dolls taking the back line of defense there. Sassbot trying to make her way through the front. It looks like a big hit from the Res Doll blocker, Hoo-Ha, knocking down Jocelyn Hell, but that does send her to the penalty box. Jocelyn Hell through the pack for the Vaudeville Vixens. She is your lead jammer.
Sassbot through the pack as well. She is not your lead jammer, but she's going to be looking to make her scoring pass.
And Jocelyn Hell makes her way through the pack, knocked into by Charlie Hustle, but gets past for all 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Keeping the Res Dolls at 0 that jam. That brings the Vaudeville Vixens up to 29 points. The Res Dolls at 11 points. And that'll bring Mouse, number 4, jamming on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line for the Reservoir Dolls. Mouse will be jamming against Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens.
That's right, Black Velvet, a rookie this season. She's really been showing her stuff this season, though. I think she's consistently been one of the high-scoring jammers for her team in all the games that she's been in.
Yes, a real swift or quick jammer. A lot of great agility by the part of Black Velvet, moving back and forth, holding her own right on the line so that she does not get knocked to the outside.
Mouse doing what she does best, finding that tiny hole on the inside, does get through, causing Black Velvet to call off the jam as she was passed by Mouse there. 0
That's
points
right.
scored by either team on that pass. Scores stay Vaudeville Vixens 29, Reservoir Dolls 11.
And lining up on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line for the Reservoir Dolls, we have Lip Smacker. She's going to be jamming against Kenna Vendetta for the Vaudeville Vixens. The whistle blows. Lip Smacker gives Kenna Vendetta a little bit of a push off there. Kenna Vendetta trying to fight against the wall of Reservoir Dolls in the back of the pack.
Lip Smacker breaking through to take lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. So in the meantime, Kenna Vendetta knocked to the inside, recycled to the back of the pack by Shenanigans.
Shenanigans doing a lot of great recycling there on the jammer Kenna Vendetta for the Vaudeville Vixens. Helped out by Block Nest Monster there. And it looks like Lip Smacker called out to the WORT penalty box on a penalty. Kenna Vendetta following her to the penalty box on a high block penalty there. So that means Kenna Vendetta will sit in the penalty box, releasing Lip Smacker, and she will only have to serve the amount of time that Lip Smacker was in the penalty box. Lip Smacker now back on the track with the power jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
It's like Kenna Vendetta now back, released from the penalty box, back on the track. Both teams at full strength out on the track there.
And both teams at standstills there. It looks like the Vaudeville Vixens in the front, blocking Lip Smacker of the Reservoir Dolls with a 4-wall. The Reservoir Dolls in the back blocking Kenna Vendetta, knocking her to the inside and making her recycle around to the back of their wall. Great job of defense by both teams here. It looks like Lemon Dropkick dropping back to try to play a little bit of offense, not able to do so as Kenna Vendetta is knocked to the outside and recycled around the pack. Lip Smacker through the pack for 4 points.
Kenna Vendetta
5
also
points,
through the pack,
sorry.
taking a brief moment there, accidentally getting blocked by her own teammates as everything was happening so fast there. Minor collision, she does make it through. Jam is going to be called off after Res Dolls picking up 2 points on that last pass. No points for the Vaudeville Vixens. That means Reservoir Dolls picked up 7 points on that last jam. Our score is now Reservoir Dolls 18 to Vaudeville Vixens 29.
And that's just what the Reservoir Dolls needed there, a 7-point jam to reduce the lead that the Vaudeville Vixens have got early in the bout here. On the jammer line, we've got Charlie Hustle jamming for the Reservoir Dolls against Shantastic McAwesome for the Vixens. Shantastic McAwesome out of the pack first. She is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Charlie Hustle also through the pack shortly after Shantastic McAwesome. Shantastic McAwesome going to engage the pack, run into the black wall at the front of the pack, call off the jam. Looks like she picked up 1 point on that pass.
That's right, Rich. 1 point bringing the Vaudeville Vixens up to 30 points. Just now on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens, we have Berserkly. She'll be jamming against Mouse, number 4 of the Reservoir Dolls. Mouse, one of the original skaters here, skating for the last 12 years with the Reservoir Dolls. And Mouse hitting a wall of Vaudeville Vixens in the back. Berserkly, a wall of Reservoir Dolls in the front. And Berserkly makes her way out through the inside line, finding a hole, and she is your lead jammer.
Mouse also through the pack, looking to make up some of that lost ground. Mouse always gets around the track very quickly. Looks like Berserkly knocked to the outside, gonna call off the jam. No points scored. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 points scored by the Vaudeville Vixens.
And smart move by Berserkly as she's knocked down. She knows a jammer like Mouse is gonna come around that track pretty fast, so she calls off the jam after scoring 2 points before Mouse has a chance to score any points for the Reservoir Dolls. And we'll see what Shenanigans can do up on the jammer line for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll be jamming against Jocelyn Hell of the Vaudeville Vixens.
Jocelyn Hell doing a nice little turn on the outside there, trying to roll off some of those Reservoir Dolls blockers. Making another turn, staying on the inside to take lead jam. Amazing move by Jocelyn Hell.
Great footwork by Jocelyn Hell there on the inside line, making sure that her feet stay on the inbounds of the track, even though her upper body looked to be knocked to the outside or the inside of the track there. Jocelyn Hell making her way around the track, now eligible to score points up against a wall again of Reservoir Doll blockers.
You can see at the back of the pack, there's that 4-wall of blockers for the Vaudeville Vixens, just rotating around back and forth, preventing Shenanigans from getting through. Looks like Shenanigans not quite out yet either. Jocelyn Hell recycled to the back of the pack by Block Ness.
And Shenanigans getting through the pack there. It looks like she took off the star helmet cover.
Yeah, it looks
in
like
a star stash, perhaps, so that no one knew she was the jammer. Jocelyn Hell, though, picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens on that last jam.
Yep, definitely a good jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. They're continuously using that kind of hit it and quit it strategy where they get in, get lead jam, get whatever points they can make, and call off the jam before the Res Dolls can get points. They know that once the Res Dolls can kind of take that lead, it can really start snowballing because the Reservoir Dolls have a lot of really strong jammers.
Another strong jammer there on the Vaudeville Vixens. We have Black Velvet, rookie jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens this year. She's your lead jammer, jamming against Lady Hoo-Ha of the Reservoir Dolls. And again, that strategy you mentioned, Rich, getting through the pack as she's lead jammer, calling off the jam, picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, and not allowing the Res Dolls to get any points in that last jam.
This is actually somewhat reminiscent of the last time the Vixens and the Res Dolls played each other, which would have been our last bout on February 20th, where the Vaudeville Vixens ended up beating the Res Dolls 210 points to 146. So Vaudeville Vixens looking to have a history repeat itself here, but Mouse taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls says, no way, not if I have anything to say about it.
And Mouse, lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls, taking to the outside, though, allowing Kenna Vendetta to get into the lead. She gets through the pack first and through the pack for 4 points. Looks like she might have tried to call off the jam, but not being lead jammer, she can't do so. Mouse calls off the jam after she gets through and picks up 4 points. 4 points for both teams there in that last jam. And we want to thank one of our sponsors sponsors, Ultimate Arts, the area's finest custom studio. They specialize in doing as much original work as possible for their clients. Ultimate Arts Tattoo Studio in Madison. Back to the action on the track, we have Lip Smacker jamming for the Reservoir Dolls going up against Shantastic McAwesome of the Vaudeville Vixens.
It's like Shenanigans knocked, I believe it was Shenanigans knocking Shantastic McAwesome out to the inside. Shantastic McAwesome didn't come back in behind Shenanigans though. She's picked up a track cut penalty. Off to the WRT penalty box she goes. This gives Lip Smacker and the Reservoir Dolls a power jam.
And you'll notice the Reservoir Dolls also kind of standing behind the Vaudeville Vixens as they wall up to try to play defense against Lip Smacker on this power jam. That's a strategic move a lot of times the team will play to slow down the speed of the pack as their jammer tries to fight her way through that pack. Sometimes it works, other times the defense on that other team can hold that jammer back for just as much time as is needed to get their jammer out of the pack. That's exactly what the Vaudeville Vixens are trying to do right now.
That's right, they have stalled enough time. Shantastic McAwesome back on the track. Gonna find that outside lane. She is not your lead jammer, didn't score any points on that pass. However, she is now ready to make her scoring pass.
And Lip Smacker being held up by the Vaudeville Vixens defense. Great job by Feminine Hijinks, Neon Arzik, A Magnitude 10 out there on the track, and Donna Stunner. But they do allow Lip Smacker to score 4 points. That's 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls, bringing their total points to 26. Vaudeville Vixens at 44, but we still have over 13 minutes in this first half of our bout.
Getting down to that Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we have Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls against Berserk Lee for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And Lady Hoo-Ha is out of the pack first. She is your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. Followed in hot pursuit by Berserk Lee. Lady Hoo-Ha being held up in the front of the pack by the Vaudeville Vixens. She does manage to score 2 points before she calls off the jam. 3 points, I'm sorry, that'll bring the Reservoir Dolls up to 29 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 44. Just what the Reservoir Dolls need to do is get that lead jammer status, chip away by scoring 3 or 4 points, whatever they can get each jam against the Vaudeville Vixens.
Right you are, Dolly, and that's exactly the kind of thing that Mouse is going to be looking to do as she takes to the jammer line for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll be jamming against Jocelyn Hell.
And Mouse finds that open inside line, picks up lead jammer status for the Reservoir Dolls.
You can see that look of determination on Mouse's face as she's going around the track. She's not looking to make this a quick jam. She wants to get all the points she can. However, she knows she can't let the Vaudeville Vixens make that widen their score gap. So hitting that wall, calling off the jam. 1 point put up on the board by the Reservoir Dolls.
And now the Reservoir Dolls will be sending out Shenanigans to the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line. Shenanigans jamming against Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens. Shenanigans lining up right next to Black Velvet. Black Velvet trying to push her way up to the front, getting a little bit of help there from Darling Nikki. She's got to take on the Reservoir Dolls. She does so, and she picks up lead jammer status. That's Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens.
Shenanigans still not through the pack, trying to make that initial pass. Pack's really speeding up, though, as Black Velvet starts getting to the front of the pack, making her way to go as fast as she can. Shenanigans now through the pack.
Black Velvet there trying to call off the jam right as she gets knocked to the inside. She comes back on the track and is called to the penalty box for a track cut penalty. So that'll leave Shenanigans and the Reservoir Dolls with the power jam. Shenanigans making the most of that, picking up a Mini Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
See Reservoir Dolls sitting off to the side. They're ready to jump in at the last moment as Shenanigans comes along trying to break up that wall of Vixens. They have some measure of success as Shenanigans gets through picking up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam. Meantime, Vixens jammer Black Velvet back on the track, picked up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam of her own.
And that was from the last pass through the pack. Once called to the penalty box, the jammer can't get any points scored until she gets through that pass after she gets back on the track. Shenanigans fighting through the wall of Vaudeville Vixens to try and get another point-scoring pass. Meanwhile, Black Velvet through the pack for 4 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Trying to minimize the damage that Shenanigans and the Reservoir Dolls are doing here with their 10 points scored in those 2 Mini Madison Grand Slams. And Black Velvet able to pick up 9 points there, bringing the Vaudeville Vixens to 53 points, Reservoir Dolls at 40 points. And it looks like the Reservoir Dolls are going to be calling a timeout.
That does give us a moment to thank a few of our wonderful sponsors.
That's right, Rich.
I'd like to thank Baldwin Street Grill. They have Friday fish fry and brunch on the weekends. Thursday karaoke night is usually full of Derby girls. Check out the Baldwin Street Grill.
And that's right on Baldwin Street, if you can imagine.
Aptly named.
And not Williamson, but East Washington. I'd also like to thank Super Duper. They offer digital, offset, letterpress, and hand silk screen printing. And they specialize in CD and DVD packaging and manufacturing. Super Duper. I'd also like to give a shout out right about now to Mary Basil Christopher and her daughter Amelia, my niece. Shout out to Amelia and her parents, Mary and Alexander. Thank you guys for coming to the bout from all the way from Chicago they traveled. And some of you might know her as Sister Mary Basil.
All right, looks like that timeout has transitioned into an official review called for by the Reservoir Dolls.
And that means that the Reservoir Dolls want to review something that happened on the track, probably in that last jam. While the officials and the captains talk about that, we can thank one of our other sponsors. Another one of our sponsors, Rockabetty's Salon and Spa. A spa and salon that offers an array of unique and fun services such as nail parties and mobile wedding hairstyles and makeup services. Yes, that's right, they come to you for your special day. Rockabetty's Salon and Spa. Last chance for y'all to go down to the merch table, pick up some great merchandise for your favorite team. Support our Bout charity, Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin. Every person touched by Alzheimer's or other dementia will need support to help them navigate through the course of that disease, and that's what Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin helps with. They help guide people through the complex maze of issues that can arise. So head on down and support our Bout charity. Grab a shout out at the merchandise table.
So it sounds like their official review was the Reservoir Dolls challenging some of the points that had been awarded to the Vaudeville Vixens that last jam. The score, though, had been corrected, so the Reservoir Dolls have lost their official review. Getting back down to the action, though, we have Res Doll jammer Lady Hoo-Ha taking lead jam. She is jamming up against Vaudeville Vixens jammer Kenna Vendetta.
And Lady Hoo-Ha around the track through the pack, picks up 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls and calls off the jam. That'll bring the Reservoir Dolls up to 48 points, narrowing the Vaudeville Vixens lead to just 9 points here. And we know anything can happen from jam to jam. This next jam, lining up on the Monkey Bar Jim Jammer line, we have Mouse, number 4, jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll be jamming against Shantastic McAwesome, number 24, of the Vaudeville Vixens. Fantastic McAwesome knocked to the outside up in the front, fighting against a wall of 3 Reservoir Doll blockers. She gets past and picks up lead jammer status for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Meantime, Mouse is fought by a 4-wall, that blocktopus of the Vaudeville Vixens, looking to make her scoring pass. However, Fantastic McAwesome calls off the jam after picking up 2 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, 0 for the Reservoir Dolls. So we are now down to less than 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Reservoir Dolls down at 48 points. Vaudeville Vixens leading by 11 points at 59.
And a lot more of a low-scoring game this bout than the last bout against the Reservoir Dolls and the Vaudeville Vixens. Not sure how their halftime looked, but both teams trying to get the lead jammer status, and then as soon as they get around the track and pick up as many points as they can before the other team can pick up any points, they're calling this jam off. So not a lot of points on the board, but a lot of action on the track.
All right, you are, Dolly. Looks like Reservoir Doll jammer Shenanigans getting knocked out of bounds, gets called out on a track cut penalty. That gives Berserkly and the Vaudeville Vixens a power jam.
And Berserkly trying to fight her way past a blocking wall of the Reservoir Dolls, made up of Critical Tits, Jean Lane, Block Ness Monster, and Lip Smacker. She gets knocked to the outside, recycled around, and again tries to get back in. Feminine Hijinks going up to the blocking wall of Reservoir Dolls there, trying to play a little bit of offense for Berserkly.
Yeah, they do get that wall of black loosened up a bit. Penalty called off on, I believe that was Lip Smacker.
Meanwhile, Berserkly getting knocked to the inside by Block Ness Monster, recycled to the back of the pack there by by Jean Lane. Berserkly trying to make her way around and through the pack. And she does pick up lead jammer status, finally getting through the pack for the Vaudeville Vixens.
That's right, Berserkly looking to make her scoring pass here. In the meantime, Shenanigans back on the track for the Reservoir Dolls. Hasn't gotten through to make her scoring pass yet.
Shenanigans knocked to the outside. Just on one skate, stays in bounds, but does get knocked down. And it looks like Berserkly comes around the track, picks up a few points, and calls off the jam, picking up 3 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Jamming for the Reservoir Dolls now on the Monkey Bar Jam Jammer line, we've got Charlie Hustle, number 33. She'll be going up against Jocelyn Hell, 1967, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Oh, just as we were about to get started, though, we are going to have an official timeout. So that gives us a moment to thank a few more of our sponsors, doesn't it, Dolly?
That's right, Rich. Sponsors like WSUM, 91.7 Madison Student Radio, the Snake on the Lake. We'd also like to thank WORT Back Porch Radio in Madison. Tune in any time of the day or night to hear great alternative music, news, and public affairs programming. WORT. And a couple of our other sponsors. We have Maduro Cigar Bar as one of our sponsors. Also, Duckworks Media Forge, who are doing our videography tonight.
As they are. They are the folks that you will be searching out to find the awesome bout footage. And that usually goes up about a week after the bout.
Check out the MadRollandDolls.com website. I believe we've got the footage up there as well as upcoming action. So we'll have our information about our finals bout, the championship bout. One of these teams will be playing the Quad Squad in just 2 short weeks.
That's right, getting back down to the action as that official timeout has ended. We have Jocelyn Hell taking lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Charlie Hustle for the Reservoir Dolls.
And Charlie Hustle is hot in pursuit. Both jammers now eligible to score points, making their way around the track. Vaudeville Vixens playing a little bit of offense there up on the Reservoir Dolls. Reservoir Dolls blockers, though, still managed to knock down Jocelyn Hell, who calls off the jam after picking up 1 point. And we do have a shout out here to Jocelyn Hell. Jocelyn Hell, shout out, says, where's my Instagram pic from OddCon? Not sure if you understand, but if you've got an Instagram pic from OddCon, somebody wants to know where it is, Jocelyn Hell. Nice jam, that last jam. Now up on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens, we have Black Velvet jamming against Mouse for the Reservoir Dolls.
Now jam initially off to a slow start, Pack barely moving, and all of a sudden it explodes into action. Mouse getting through first, taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Black Velvet hot in pursuit, and the Pack is picking up speed as well. Mouse trying to make her way past the Vaudeville Vixens blockers. She gets tangled up in that blocking Pack, but calls off the jam, picking up 3 points for the Reservoir Dolls. It looks like Black Velvet, the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens, does pick up 2 points for the Vaudeville Vixens as she sneaks through into the back of the Pack there.
Well, what an intense jam that was, Dolly. That was incredible, and very, very fitting that the teams would come out so close. 3 points to 2. Oh, some great roller derby happening out there tonight.
And we've got Kenna Vendetta on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens. It looks like Mouse for the Reservoir Dolls starting off this jam in the WORT penalty box. Kenna Vendetta now called off the track for a penalty. She'll be joining Mouse in the WORT penalty box. Mouse will be released from the penalty box, and that gives the Reservoir Dolls a power jam here. And Reservoir Dolls blocker, full frontal Judity, trying to move up into the front of the Pack there to give Mouse a little bit of offensive help. Block Nest Monster also trying to help.
Mouse is through, though, taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls right as Kenna Vendetta is released from the penalty box. Both teams at full strength as they race around the track. Mouse doing a nice little twirl on the outside, picking up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam.
And it is just amazing how these skaters are able to stay on their skates in bounds as they're getting hit to the outside. Mouse through the Pack again for another 4 points. Kenna Vendetta picks up 1 point for the Vaudeville Vixens, but Mouse picking up, it looks like, bringing the Reservoir Dolls points up to 56. I think Mouse has a few more points there going on to.
Well, we do have an official review that has been called for by the Vaudeville Vixens. So depending on what they're reviewing and what the result of that review is, it is very possible that we will see that score change.
Looks like Mouse picking up 9 points in that jam. Vaudeville Vixens picking up 1 point. And we'll see what this official review comes out with. But first, we want to thank another one of our sponsors. And that's Ian's Pizza. Ian's Pizza providing the Feed the Dolls sponsor tonight for the Mad Rollin' Dolls after party for the skaters. And that reminds me, Rich, I want to welcome all of you fans out to our after party tonight. It'll be held at the Cardinal Bar following this bout. Join us at the Cardinal Bar. But we want to thank our sponsor, Ian's Pizza. 2 downtown locations offering carryout and delivery, salad, pizza, vegan, and gluten-free options. Ian'sPizza.com.
Getting back down to the action on the track, we have Lady Hoo-Ha taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. She's jamming against the Vaudeville Vixens' Shantastic McAwesome. And just as a little note, it sounds like that official review was just the Vaudeville Vixens using the official review as a timeout.
Lady Hoo-Ha there through the middle of the Pack. Picks up 4 points, calls off the jam, brings the Reservoir Dolls points to 64. Vaudeville Vixens at 68. That's a 2-point game, folks.
Yep, with only 1 minute remaining in this half, these teams are painfully close.
And we've got Berserkly jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens going up against Mouse jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. The whistle blows, Vaudeville Vixens in the back with the pack holding up Mouse as Berserkly moves to the front. Trying to get past a wall of Reservoir Dolls. She finds a hole on the inside line, and Berserkly is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Mouse dusting herself off there as she exits the pack, going to make her scoring pass.
Before she can do so, though, Berserkly, through the pack on the outside, calls off the jam, picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And with that, we'll still have one more jam here. Time for one more jam in this first period. We'll have Lip Smacker jamming for the Reservoir Dolls going up against Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And once we reach the halftime, we will have another halftime activity for you all. We will have the Flamingo Croquet game, so stay tuned for that.
Jocelyn Hell getting a start up into the front of the pack going against the Reservoir Dolls blockers up there, Critical Tits, Jean Lane, Block Nest Monster, and Lips and Shenanigans. Meanwhile, Lip Smacker trying to make her way past the Vaudeville Vixens blockers. Out there on the track, we have A Magnitude 10, Neon Arzek, Bandana Split, and Feminine Hijinks.
Jocelyn Hell out as your lead jammer, looking to make her scoring pass. Finds a bit of a lane on the inside, jukes to the outside.
Jocelyn Hell calls off that jam, picks up 4 points. Or I'm sorry, 3 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And that will bring us to our halftime with the Vaudeville Vixens at 73 points, Reservoir Dolls at 64. Anything can happen in the second half of this bout, folks, so stick around.
All right, we are about ready to get back down to the action with this bout between the Vaudeville Vixens and the Reservoir Dolls.
Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens takes lead jammer out of the pack first, followed closely behind by Mouse, number 4 jamming for the Reservoir Dolls.
Both these jammers going around the track with blazing speed.
And it looks like Black Velvet trying to turn around and call off the jam. Mouse sneaking through and picking up a few points there for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like 3 points picked up by the Res Dolls, 0 for the Vaudeville Vixens. That does bring our score to Reservoir Dolls 67, Vaudeville Vixens 73. So only 6 points separate these teams, Dolly.
This has been, both of these bouts have been just such great bouts. This one especially, really close, a lot of back and forth. Both teams just really for a lot of fight out there for this win in semifinals. We've got Shenanigans as lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. This jam, she's jamming up against Kenna Vendetta, who has been sent to the WORT penalty box. That leaves Shenanigans and the Reservoir Dolls with a power jam.
Shenanigans does get through, picking up a mini of Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls, and she's looking to do it again. She does get stopped up by a wall of pink. Up at the front there, the blockers of the Vixens, Hoppy Go Lucky, Lemon Dropkick, Dalek Doll, and Femigen Hijinks. Kenna Vendetta back on the track and back to the penalty box.
Yes, Rich, it looked like Kenna Vendetta ran into the wall of Reservoir Dolls. One of the Reservoir Dolls did go down as well, so probably for a back block there sent to the penalty box. That'll leave Shenanigans with a power jam. She spins around on the inside and picks up a mini Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls. And that will bring the Reservoir Dolls into a lead here. We've had a first lead change of the game. Rich?
That's right, Dolly. Kenna Vendetta getting through, Shenanigans getting through, picking up another mini of Madison Grand Slam. That's 15 points in that last jam. And like you said, we have a lead change. Reservoir Dolls 82, Vaudeville Vixens 73.
That's right. In just one jam, that lead can change. So we'll see what this jam brings. We have Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She will start out in the penalty box. That'll leave Lady Hoo-Ha jamming unopposed for the Reservoir Dolls on the track. Lady Hoo-Ha starting off with a power jam. But Kenna Vendetta released from the penalty box shortly after that jam began. So now both jammers on the track, eligible to get lead jammer status.
Kenna Vendetta is going to find that hole in the pack, gets through, takes lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. Kenna Vendetta going through the pack, slips her way through on the inside, calls off the jam after picking up 4 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Closing that score gap then, Vaudeville Vixens 77, Reservoir Dolls 82.
And the Reservoir Dolls send Mouse out to the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, while the Vixens will have Shantastic McAwesome jamming. Reservoir Dolls blockers lining up on that back jammer line there. Down 1 blocker to the penalty box. Mouse will go up front where the Vaudeville Vixens have a 4-wall there.
Shantastic McAwesome picking up a back block penalty, going to spend 30 seconds in the WORT penalty box. This gives Mouse and the Reservoir Dolls an opportunity for a power jam.
And Mouse does a little spin around the outside there. Not picking up lead jammer status, but she is the only jammer on the track, now eligible to score points. And a quick 1-2 hop there on the inside line past the Vaudeville Vixen blockers. Picks Mouse and the Reservoir Dolls up a Minnie and Madison Grand Slam and 5 points.
Mouse slams into the back of that Vaudeville Vixens defensive wall, breaks through, picking up another Minnie and Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls. Quickly approaching the back of the pack again, smashes in, trying to get through, doesn't quite make it through on the outside.
And being taken to the outside, Mouse swings around, getting knocked down, but gets right back up again, and getting through the pack.
Shantastic McAwesome had been released from the penalty box, got back on the track, and got a track cut penalty. So back to the penalty box she goes. The power jam for Mouse and the Reservoir Dolls continues. Mouse getting another 5-point Minnie of Madison Grand Slam, really just opening up this lead all of a sudden.
And Mouse being taken to the outside by feminine hijinks there, knocked to the outside, but being forced to stop and recycle around, but she makes her way right past that wall of blockers and picks up another 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Mouse looks like she's taking this one all the way to the jam timer, which she does. Picks up another 3 points on that last pass. That brings Mouse's total for that jam to 28 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
That was a great jam by Mouse for the Reservoir Dolls there. 28 points, bringing their total to 110 points. Again, the lead over the Vaudeville Vixens, who have 77 points. But we still have 24 minutes left in this second half of this bout.
That we do, Dolly, and I don't anticipate either of these teams giving up until the final moments of this bout.
And you know what, Rich? This whole entire night has been so exciting. I have forgotten to announce all of our groups that are here. So I hope they're still here with us, but I'd like to thank Lori Searing and all of her group for coming out to the bout tonight. Thank you, Lori. We'd also like to thank Gina Haugen and all of her friends for coming out to the bout. Thanks, Gina. And another one of our groups, Miranda Scram. We want to thank Miranda and everyone for coming out to the bout as well. If you and your friends or family want to get in on some group sale tickets, contact our ticket office at grouptickets@madrollandolls.com.
Getting back down to the action on the track, we have Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Lip Smacker for the Reservoir Dolls.
Black Velvet out to the front of the Reservoir Dolls blocking wall there. She gets lead jammer status for the Vaudeville Vixens. Black Velvet around the track again, knocking into Jean Lane there, but getting right past. And And making her way around the track past Lip Smacker, jamming for the Reservoir Dolls.
Lip Smacker had removed her star cover, looking like she was either going to pass it or just do a stash. However, Black Velvet and the Vaudeville Vixens picking up 4 points, 0 points for the Reservoir Dolls. That brings the Vaudeville Vixens picking up a total of 9 points that last jam.
Just what the Vaudeville Vixens needed to do in that last jam after the Reservoir Dolls had taken lead and really capitalized on the last few jams. Now we'll have Berserkly jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens going up against Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls.
Berserkly trying to find that outside lane, met with resistance in the form of blockers such as Mass Myrtle, the Heat Charlie Hustle, and Sassbot. We have Lady Hoo-Ha getting through, taking lead jam for her team.
And Lady Hoo-Ha slicing through the back of the pack, held up in the front by Dalek Doll. She calls off the jam, picking up 2 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Reservoir Dolls very intent on keeping the Vaudeville Vixens here. This is where they make their stand, keeping them from making any points. You can see that Lady Hoo-Ha there was very aware of where her opposing jammer is, making sure to call off the jam before there was any chance of the Vaudeville Vixens putting up additional points.
And on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens, we have Black Velvet jamming up against Mouse of the Reservoir Dolls. Both jammers, pretty much their high scorers for their teams this bout so far. And it looks like Black Velvet called on a forearm penalty, will be heading to the WORT penalty box.
Apparently Mouse didn't see that the Vixens jammer had gone out, so she called off the jam. You can see she was a little like, oh, I could have had a power jam. Oh, crud.
You gotta be aware when you're jamming of everything out there.
So now
Sometimes
that does mean that this jam will start with the Res Dolls in a power jam. So the Res Dolls have decided to send Mouse back out.
Or just keep her out there on the track. So Mouse will jam unopposed for the Reservoir Dolls at the start of this jam. She makes her way through pretty easily there, picks up lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Black Velvet will join Mouse on the track as soon as she finishes her time in the WORT penalty box.
Vaudeville Vixens doing everything they can to keep Mouse back. Mouse finds that open lane on the inside, picks up another Mini of Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Wow! Another 2 steps there, right through the pack, not even being seen or knocked into by the opposing team.
Quiet as a mouse definitely applies here. Mouse herself, not always the quietest individual, but she snuck right through there with amazing skill.
She did, and Mouse does have amazing skill, able to stop, move back and forth on a dime. Sometimes going full force right into that, but knowing when to hold back, when to have her blockers help her. Mouse picks up 14 points on that last jam, bringing the Reservoir Dolls to 126 points. Vaudeville Vixens with 86 points. Just a 40-point deficit here, but still just under 20 minutes to go in this second period. And on the line for the Vaudeville Vixens jamming, we have Kenna Vendetta. She'll be jamming against Lady Hoo-Ha for the Reservoir Dolls.
Lady Hoo-Ha up at the front of the pack, fighting against a wall of pink, trying to find that hole to take lead jam. Vaudeville Vixens aren't going to give it to her easily, though. Kenna Vendetta at the back of the pack does find that hole down the middle, takes lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And that's just what the Vaudeville Vixens need now to bring back their score. Kenna Vendetta running right into the heat in a stopped wall there. That will cause her to be sent to the WORT penalty box and serve 30 seconds. And that will give Lady Hoo-Ha and the Reservoir Dolls a power jam.
That's right, Dolly. Looks like the Vaudeville Vixens defense is not going to give up any of those points easily. They are all over Lady Hoo-Ha, trying to keep all gaps closed, not letting her through. She will fight her way through the middle. breaking through, picking up another Mini of Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls. Adjusts her tie on her way around, looking to make another scoring pass.
Great job by Lady Hoo-Ha. Also a nice job by the Vaudeville Vixens defense. Last time really holding Lady Hoo-Ha back. This time she just slides right through there. Kenna Vendetta back on the track, trying to score some points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And it looks like a collision there on that second turn. Brings Lady Hoo-Ha and another one of her team members down. Lady Hoo-Ha called on a high block. That'll send her to the WORT penalty box. Kenna Vendetta on the Vaudeville Vixens with the remainder of this jam in a power jam.
Exactly what the Vaudeville Vixens need right now, being able to turn around that score. Up until a moment ago, the Reservoir Dolls had picked up more points in this jam, but with that last pass, Kenna Vendetta and the Vaudeville Vixens have picked up 18 points in that last jam against the Reservoir Dolls 10.
And that'll bring the Reservoir Dolls to 136 points. The Vaudeville Vixens with 104 points. And we'll have a timeout called by the Reservoir Dolls. Again, folks, come and join us for the after party at the Cardinal Bar. That will be held directly after this bout. As soon as you have time to say hello to the teams after the bout, head on over to the Cardinal Bar and enjoy the evening with your own Mad Rollin dolls. Then come on out back to the Alliant Energy Center to see us on May 7th for our championship bout. The finals will be the Quad Squad going up against one of these teams who ends this bout with the most points.
Indeed, Dolly, and with the scores this close, it could go either way. Reservoir Dolls currently holding a lead with 32 points over the Vaudeville Vixens, but as we've seen, we have teams picking up 20 and 30 points in a single jam. So this could really go either way in the next 17 minutes and 30 seconds.
And of those points scored on the Vaudeville Vixens, Black Velvet with 35 points, Kenna Vendetta with 36 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, Berserkly with 15 points, and Jocelyn Hell with 12 points. We've got Jocelyn Hell on the line now jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. And it looks like she'll be jamming against Lady Hoo-Ha, who was starting this jam out in the penalty box.
That's right, Lady Hoo-Ha still in the penalty box. Jocelyn Hell having taken lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. This is a really great way to start the jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. Jocelyn Hell with a nice little turning apex jump, picking up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Vixens.
And you just heard the crowd go wild as Jocelyn Hell just roamed around the inside line there, picking that up. So agile to stay in bounds and be able to score all those points. Jocelyn Hell now with 2 Reservoir Dolls to pass. It looks like Mouse and Sly-Eyed in the front there. Jocelyn Hell passes them for a Mini of Madison Grand Slam. And 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Another Mini of Madison Grand Slam by Jocelyn Hell.
Yep, this is exactly what the Vaudeville Vixens need to start closing this score gap, and closing it they are.
That's
Jocelyn Hell doing it again. 5 more points. And just now, Lady Hoo-Ha is released from the penalty box, back on the track, looking to engage. But no, she's sent out on another penalty, continuing the power jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. 5 more points for Jocelyn Hell.
That's a total of 25 points for Jocelyn Hell and the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing their point score total to 129.
What were we just saying, Dolly? In one jam, 25 points for a single team, 0 for the Reservoir Dolls. The Vaudeville Vixens have closed the score gap down to Reservoir Dolls 136, Vaudeville Vixens 129. There are 7 points that separate these two teams with 15 minutes remaining in this game.
It is exciting, Rich, and we have on the line Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She'll be jamming against Lady Hoo-Ha, still jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Black Velvet, your lead jammer.
The Vaudeville Vixens are certainly not taking this one lying down. They are on track to make another lead change in this bout.
Darling Nikki moving up to the front of the pack, trying to help Black Velvet get past the wall of Reservoir Dolls. And Black Velvet gets by, picking up a Minnie Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lady Hoo-Ha released from the penalty box, back on the track in the pack, doing what she can to get through. In the meantime, we have Black Velvet towards the back of the pack, facing off against a wall of Reservoir Dolls.
And it looks like there was a star pass. You might not know it, but the pivot, Shenanigans, is holding that star helmet cover. She was past the star by Lady Hoo-Ha, and the Vixens picked up on that and held Shenanigans back.
That's right, Shenanigans now recycled to the back of the pack, all the way back by Hoppy Go Lucky. In the meantime, we have another 4 points put up on the board by Black Velvet.
Black Velvet knocked down there pretty hard that last time, but she gets back up and is jamming her way around the track, slowing down a little and pulling off that jam. After she and the Vaudeville Vixens pick up 13 points in that jam and change the lead, now they have 142 points to the Reservoir Dolls 136.
Oh my word, Dolly. What an intense jam that was.
That it was, Rich.
So as you said, Vaudeville Vixens retaking the lead, now sitting 6 points ahead of the Reservoir Dolls. As we head back down to the track, we have Mouse jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Kenna Vendetta for the Vaudeville Vixens. However, it looked almost immediately Kenna Vendetta heads off to that WRT penalty box. This gives Mouse and the Reservoir Dolls a power jam, and this is not at all what the Vaudeville Vixens are looking for, but exactly what the Reservoir Dolls want.
And Mouse picking up lead jammer status, making her way around the track. She does get knocked to the inside, but stops herself to recycle around to the back of the pack. Makes her way through and picks up a Minnie Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls, bringing them to a 1-point deficit against the Vaudeville Vixens. Now this next pass through and 5 more points again changes the lead. Reservoir Dolls take the lead, 146 to the Vaudeville Vixens, 142. Mouse with 11 points in that, 10 points in that last jam. And Mouse gonna keep on that star helmet cover.
Mouse isn't done. She's back on the track. She wants her cheese. She's gonna be jamming against Vaudeville Vixens jammer Shantastic McAwesome.
Mouse being held up in the back of the pack by the Vaudeville Vixens. That allows Shantastic McAwesome to get lead jammer status for the Vaudeville Vixens. Shantastic McAwesome trying to fight her way past the Reservoir Dolls, putting up a nice wall in the back, recycling around to the front of the pack, holding back Shantastic McAwesome as she tries to fight her way through. Meanwhile, Mouse getting through the pack on her initial pass. And Shantastic McAwesome trying to pass one more Reservoir Doll skater. She calls off the jam, picking up 5 points and a Minnie Madison Grand Slam for the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing them up into the lead, 147 to 146.
Wow,
Back
Dolly.
and forth, this is gonna go, I think, the rest of this bout. How many of you folks out there want to see the Vaudeville Vixens win and head on to the championship? And how many of you folks out there are cheering on the Reservoir Dolls?
Lots of fans for both of these teams out there tonight, Dolly. So far, no lead jammer has been decided. We've got Lip Smacker going up against Berserkly. Lip Smacker gets through, takes lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Nice job finding an inside lane there as she pushes her way through the pack. Berserkly still held up in the pack by the Reservoir Dolls blocker. She does get released right as Lip Smacker makes her way through the pack. Another lead change, another 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls. Nice jam by Lip Smacker there, calling off the jam. After changing the lead, let's reset that jam again at the Monkey Bar Gym Jammer line. This time we'll have Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls going up against Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, Dolly, these skaters are very eager to get back on the track. You can see there is very little downtime happening between these jams. The adrenaline is running high. We have Lady Hoo-Ha at the back fighting against a wall of pink, trying to find that inside line. But in the meantime, Jocelyn Hell gets through to take lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And it is coming down to the last 10 minutes of this bout. This bout is for the big championship match. A chance at winning Leggy, the championship tournament. Jocelyn Hell makes her way past Shenanigans, picks up 5 points, and a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Jocelyn Hell's going to get through on the outside again, picking up another Mini Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And meanwhile, it looks like the Reservoir Dolls still held up in the back of the pack. Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, but not wearing the jammer helmet cover. She may have passed it to Shenanigans. They may both just be trying to confuse the Vixens as to who is jamming. Reservoir Dolls knocking Jocelyn Hell to the inside line. She is slow to get up, but gets up and recycles around to the back. Jocelyn Hell with 10 points so far for the Vaudeville Vixens. Makes her way through. Oh, but she is called on a track cut penalty. And that means she will have to skate around to the WORT penalty box and spend 30 seconds there while the Reservoir Dolls try to take advantage of this power jam.
Of course, the Vaudeville Vixens defense not going to make it easy in any regard for the Reservoir Dolls. Looks like Shenanigans is out through as the pivot. However, she has that star cover in her hand, puts it on her head. She's about ready to start scoring some points for the Reservoir Dolls. Knocked to the outside.
That was by Neon Arzek. Big knock to the outside there. Shenanigans, though, does pick up. Oh, I'm sorry. She did not pick up any points there for the Reservoir Dolls. The Vaudeville Vixens pick up 15 points in that jam. That brings their total to 162. Reservoir Dolls with 150 points. And the Reservoir Dolls will start off this jam with the only jammer on the track in a power jam, and it looks like that is going to be number 4, Mouse.
Well, who else are you going to send up in a situation like this, Dolly? Mouse is really looking to close this one out, finds that line in the inside, takes lead jam. She's going to start making her way around that track as fast as she can before Jocelyn Hell gets back out on the track.
And Mouse running into a wall of pink there, gets knocked down, but right back up again. Finds a hole on the inside line and gets through, picking up a Mini Madison Grand Slam. And 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Mouse trying to do it again, slams into the middle of that 3 wall for the Vaudeville Vixens, has to cover a little bit. Back looking for a way to get through there. In the meantime, it looks like we have a star pass from Jocelyn Hell to Darling Nikki on the Vaudeville Vixens. But the jam is called off before she can really get that helmet cover on and start getting some points.
Mouse knocked down by one-hit Wanda there to the inside line, calls off the jam, picking up 9 points though for the Reservoir Dolls and bringing them to 159 points. Again, 3 points separates the Reservoir Dolls and the Vaudeville Vixens, with the Vixens in the lead by just 3 points.
3 points with 6 minutes remaining in this game, Dolly. This is so down to the wire.
It sure is, and it looks like Black Velvet is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Black Velvet jamming against Lip Smacker for the Reservoir Dolls. However, it looks like there was a very quick star pass from Lip Smacker over to Shenanigans. Shenanigans now the active jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. Black Velvet, though, calls off the jam after picking up 2 points on that last pass.
Yes, Black Velvet knocked to the outside block by Block Ness Monster there. Decides best to score those 2 points and call off the jam. Set it up again and see what we can do. Smart jamming, though, all night by both the Vaudeville Vixen and the Reservoir Dolls jammers, knowing when to call off this jam, when the opposing jammer's in the box, using that time to try to make the most of what they can do. Now, Lip Smacker jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Shantastic McAwesome for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Shantastic McAwesome going to find that outside lane to take lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. In the meantime, for the Vaudeville Vixens, Lady Hoo-Ha now the pivot for the Reservoir Dolls, goes out to the penalty box.
And Shantastic McAwesome makes her way through the inside line, picks up a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the Vaudeville Vixens, and is back around the track again, fighting against Saspa and the Heat up in the front of the pack. So much excitement. It's easy to mix up these teams, Rich.
Oh, you all have no idea. It's crazy. It's like, I see your colors and numbers flying by. Shantastic McAwesome, being that pink color that's flying through the pack, picks up another Mini of Madison Grand Slam on that pass.
That's
I believe that was her
total.
third.
Yes. So that means 15 points now for the Vaudeville Vixens on the board by Shantastic McAwesome, plus another 5 points and a Mini Madison Grand Slam. Shantastic McAwesome just really making the most of this power jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Not a black and white star to be seen on the track right now, but we have both teams at full strength in the pack, so either Lip Smacker or Lady Hoo-Ha has that jammer cover, but is not currently the active jammer. We do not have an active jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. The only active jammer is Shantastic McAwesome, picking up another Mini of Madison Grand Slam.
And it looks like Lip Smacker sent off the track, Lady Hoo-Ha as well. Lip Smacker, the jammer for the Reservoir Dolls right now. That'll leave the Vaudeville Vixens and Shantastic McAwesome with a 34-point jam.
Wow, what an intense jam that was, Dolly. Vaudeville Vixens now at 198 points against the Reservoir Dolls, 159 with just over 2 minutes remaining. So a team timeout has been called by the Reservoir Dolls with 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining on the clock.
And with plenty of timeouts remaining, that's a smart move right now. The Reservoir Dolls trying to regroup here. It looks like quite a few of their skaters have suffered or have had some penalties. Lady Hoo-Ha with her 7th penalty there. Charlie Hustle had also accumulated 7 penalties. After you can get 7 penalties in a bout, you are fouled out of the bout, I guess, penalty. Once you get 7 penalties, you're out of the bout, no longer able to play for the rest of the game. So we've also got Lip Smacker with 5 penalties for the Reservoir Dolls. On the side of the Vixens, Kenna Vendetta with 6 penalties, Darling Nikki with 4, otherwise 2 or 3 scattered here and there across the board. But we have seen some fairly penalty-heavy bouts, specifically on the jammer side of things.
We have some very hungry jammers out there tonight, Dolly, trying to get the points as any way they can. But with that, we are back into the action. Res Dolls jammer Lip Smacker still in the penalty box. We have Vaudeville Vixens jammer Berserk Lee taking the field here. She's going to find that inside lane and get lead jam for her team.
And Berserk Lee making her way around the track. Meanwhile, Lip Smacker is released from the penalty box. Berserk Lee fighting against a wall of 3 Reservoir Dolls up in the front. That's Mouse, Jean Lane, and Shenanigans. Mouse and Jean Lane trying to hold Berserk Lee back. She moves to the inside, moves to the outside. Berserk Lee knocked down to the inside lane and forced to recycle back. Meanwhile, Lip Smacker trying to make her way past the Vaudeville Vixens. She does so finally. But that jam is called off before she can score any points for the Reservoir Dolls.
We are getting down to what may well be the last jam of tonight's game, Dolly. We have the Reservoir Dolls at 159 points, Vaudeville Vixens 202. Jam begins. We have Shenanigans jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Vaudeville Vixens jammer Jocelyn Hell.
And the Vaudeville Vixens really doing a great job of 4-on-1 jammer action right from the start. All of the blockers are focused on that jammer, not allowing that Reservoir Doll jammer to even get out to get lead jammer status. That's been the case through a lot of the bout here. The Vaudeville Vixens really capitalizing on that lead jammer status throughout both periods of the bout.
Yep, Vixens only just now allowing Shenanigans to get through to start her scoring pass. Jocelyn Hell, though, is going to call off that jam after picking up 4 points for her team. We are now down to what could, last jam could very well have been the last jam, but now we are down to less than 40 seconds remaining in this game.
But still, Rich, anything can happen. Right now on the line, we've got Mouse jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She has scored 84 points in this bout. We've also got her jamming against Black Velvet, who's scored 50 points in this bout. We don't know what will happen. Black Velvet knocked to the outside by Jean Lane, who goes down. Black Velvet back inside, but called on a foul. She'll be going to the penalty box on a track cut penalty. And that leaves Mouse and the Reservoir Dolls with a power jam here.
We'll see what Mouse and the Res Dolls can do with it. Mouse coming around to the back of the pack, jumps the apex on the inside, picks up a mini of Madison, grand slam. 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls. The pack has stopped.
And that's just what the Reservoir Dolls need to do in order to get Mouse around the track as fast as she can and score the most points here. Vaudeville Vixens trying to hold her back, but she's through the pack again for another mini of Madison, grand slam, and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Black Velvet out of the penalty box, looking to get on her on a point scoring pass. She does get by the Reservoir Dolls. No points scored there, but she is now eligible to start scoring points. Mouse through, picking up 4 more points on that pass.
And now it is down to the wire. Mouse with 45 seconds to skate in this last jam. Black Velvet trying to make her way past the Reservoir Dolls blockers.
Res Dolls blockers stopping Black Velvet so far. Black Velvet going out on a back block penalty. Back to the power jam for Mouse.
That leaves Mouse with another power jam here, and the Reservoir Dolls trying to get her through the pack. Knocked to the outside line, and oh, she almost stays in bounds. Holds it together and recycles herself to the back of the pack. Reservoir Dolls fighting their way through the Vaudeville Vixens. Tight defense. A magnitude 10, Neon Arzek, Donna Stunner, and Feminine Hygiene trying to keep them down.
And that is the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen.
A great effort on both teams' parts here. Mouse, 19 points in that last jam. Reservoir Dolls just really working hard to try and make their way to beat the Vaudeville Vixens. But it doesn't look like that happened. The Vaudeville Vixens with 209 points and the Reservoir Dolls with 178 points.
Wow, what a fantastic game of roller derby, Dolly. Both teams just really gave their all out on that track tonight, and it showed.
That's right, Rich. That was one of the best bouts I've had the pleasure of watching. All of these bouts are always awesome. Please go thank both of those teams. Give them your congratulations. Check back with us on May 7th. You will be able to see the Quad Squad take on the Vaudeville Vixens in the Mad Rollin Dolls Championship bout of the season.
Oh, that watermelon final, Dolly. That's going to be a good one. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait.
I cannot wait either. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
And we hope that you will join us at our after party down at the Cardinal Bar. That's at 418 East Wilson Street. Come on down, join us in the celebration. We would love to see you.
And we want to say thank you to all of you fans for coming out to see us tonight. Thank you to all all of our wonderful volunteers for helping us put on this bout and making it happen. And thank you to the skaters who do all the work out there as well for this league. We just want to thank you all and tell you how much we love roller derby.
Thank you so much to everybody, and thank you, Dolly. This has been an amazing evening of roller derby.
It sure has, Rich Mahogany. We will see you all next time here at the Alliant Energy Center for some Mad Rolling Dolls roller derby.